When I was in Paris and Germany, there were many experiences that definitely helped shape how I view America and the people within it. It put things into perspective and helped me have a new view on everything, things that I've grown up with, and just kind of classified it right away and never really thought to really look into it. Another thing I experienced in Paris and Germany was just how sharp my senses became, because you're in a new area and that area has a different climate, so different plants, different animals, and because Europe's older than America, there are buildings that are older than America itself, and you just start noticing very little details. Like, you'll go see a butterfly and you'll be like, well, I've never seen that butterfly before. That's not in America. Or a flower or buildings, and you really pay attention to how they were built and the architecture aspect of them. And for example, when I landed in Berlin, and the first thing I noticed was the roofs were red, because as you're flying you can see the roofs, and I thought that was incredibly weird, even though it's so minuscule and it doesn't even matter, but it's normal for them. Another thing about traveling to another country is when you get there, you feel very out of place, because you're in a different country and they have different ways of life and different languages and different cultures, and even if you do research it, you haven't grown up with that, so you don't really identify with them. And there's also, I guess, a pride issue, because everything becomes the biggest deal. Tripping and falling, you're like, oh God, I just made a complete fool of myself, even if it's no different than tripping and falling in America or where you live. And I guess that's because you're, in a way, representing your country, and I mean, nobody wants people to think that Americans are dumb, even though a lot of people have that mentality. You kind of want to prove them wrong and say, look, I'm an American and this is how I am. And there's also a sense of freedom with it, because whether it's because of different laws or simply because there's nobody there that you know, you feel like you can do stuff that you wouldn't normally do. And it's really refreshing to feel that, and it's an overload of emotions, because on one hand you're absolutely terrified of doing anything, and then on the other hand you're like, I can do this because nobody knows me and I'm a new person, I can be whoever I want to be. In addition to feeling as though I was representing my country, I felt almost embarrassed to be American, because a lot of people carry the mentality that Americans are dumb or stupid or power hungry, and no one really wants to be identified with those terms. And there were cases when people in my tour group would come up to me and ask me about Donald Trump, and you're just over here and you're just like, is that all you know Americans for? You don't know anything else but Donald Trump or the bad things we've done as Americans? And or at least I ended up feeling as though I went to another country only to be pulled back into the stereotypes of America and just how the rest of the world views us. And as a person who is American, I simply didn't feel they were true. While being American did factor into how people treated me and saw me, I would do the trip again in a heartbeat. Going to Germany and Paris put so many things into perspective and gave me a new look on the world and changed so many things for me that it's an experience I won't ever forget. If you have the means to go there, I recommend you do, because this trip was not something that could be taught with textbooks and teachers. This is something that you have to experience for yourself in order to truly learn. And this is something that really can affect you as a person and change you for the better.